I'm Dr. Justin Baker, one part of the whole team here at Trinity Sports Medicine Performance Center. We're very excited to offer you specialized and unique options for both your orthopedic injuries and wellness treatment.
If you're hurt, go see Dr. Baker at Trinity Sports Medicine.
When you're injured, you need a team of professionals who can get you back to your game. At Trinity Sports Medicine and Performance Center, Dr. Scarpone, Snell, and Orlowski are committed to treating you effectively so you can return quickly and safely back to the activities you enjoy. Trinity Sports Medicine.
Hey, welcome week 4 of high school football, week 3 of the Star Sportcast. Mike Mathison, Matthew Peaslee, Ursuline grad. You know. Oh, by the way, anything going on this weekend?
No, just football.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing.
He's getting married.
Me?
Yeah, rumor has it.
Jeez. Yeah, I guess so. I might as well be there. I'll show up. I'll show up at halftime.
I'll show up at halftime. Yeah, I do. It's really simple. Show up on time. I do.
Spit. Hold her hands.
There you go. Nice. Oh, I feel sorry for her already. Seriously.
What about me? I feel sorry for you for doing in work for the next
10 days.
10 days.
But who's counting?
I obviously did.
Probably you.
All right, week 4 high school football Friday night. Kind of a big game at Harding Stadium. The third straight big game at Harding Stadium. The Mathison Tigers. The 1-2 Mathison Tigers lost 2 in a row.
Yep.
Invade Harding Stadium against 3-0 Steubenville Big Red, who come off a beautiful 22-14 victory over DC St. John's last week, holding DC St. John's to 0 points for the last 3 quarters. That's coming after beating Clinton Massey 37-18. Steubenville Big Red last week, their defense is just nasty. That's all there is to it. Their offense did a nice job pounding Johnny Blue into the line, and the offensive line did a nice job. Obviously, defensive line did well. What about Massillon?
1-2, but those 2 losses are pretty good teams.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Canton Glen Oak and Warren Harding, who's kind of rebounding this year to both Division I programs. So this game is obviously a rivalry that they've been playing for so long, and one of the bigger games in the state. We said that week 2 with Clinton Massey, and the eyes of Eastern Ohio are going to be on this game.
Well, yeah, you have Massillon has the most wins in Ohio high school football history, and Steubenville Big Red is 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. And look, Reno always says this is not a rivalry. A rivalry means both teams win kind of about the same, and Massillon owns the wins, margin by a large part. But
tradition-wise, they are right on par
absolutely
with what they do.
Yeah, because the second most wins in the state of Ohio is some team named Kenton McKinley. So yeah,
the Bulldogs.
So yeah, you're right. Tradition-wise, this is pretty much as good as it gets.
Yep, the defense is still going to have to show up for Big Red. Jeremy Blue had some nice sacks
yes,
there.
He did.
Great blitzes there, and a huge interception by DeJuan Jones. That one-handed grab kind of turned the tide there in the second half and helped secure it for Steubenville to win that. So they're going to need those big plays again, and it's going to be another great game over there.
Another knockdown, drag out, rock 'em, sock 'em, punch you in the mouth type. Yeah.
Well, that's Friday night football is all about.
It is really good games. A little bit down the road on 22, Union Local goes to Harrison Central. The Huskies are 3-0, ranked. Steubenville Big Red, first of all, in the first AP poll was ranked number 1 in Division 4. Harrison Central, I believe, was 8th in Division 5. They're 3-0, picked up a nice W over Bel Air last week, and they're bringing in Union Local, who beat Ferry last week.
Yep.
So I can hear Kropka coach speak already, but they're a really good. They're obviously a really good football team, and now you're not going to, Union Local can't surprise you considering what they did last week to Ferry.
Yeah, they're 2-1. The first loss was to Monroe Central, beat Buckeye, and caught a lot of people by surprise last week against Martins Ferry. So obviously they did a good job of shutting down R.J. Burris.
Really nice job.
Martins Ferry's big guy, and hopefully who knows what they'll do with Travis Stenson, another good running back they're going to be facing against. Stenson had another over 100 yards last week, and they got their test with RJ, and now they're going to get an even tougher test with Stenson to try to contain him.
Yeah, it's going to be a good football game.
And Brandon Mitchell's been playing
very well
at quarterback, another 100-yard passing game. So the Harrison Central's offense has the tools to win this game, and obviously
Stenson's not the only athlete he has. He has Austin Porter and Jesse Ball, and there's a whole bunch of talent on that team on both sides of the
Bryson
ball.
Porter, too.
Yeah, so interesting. Over at Jimmy Carey, 2-1 Grafton goes to 2-1 Weir High. Weir High's coming off a 55-41 victory at Steubenville Catholic Central, of which Cam Davis, 7 touchdowns, 5 rushing, 1 receiving, 1 interception, also had another interception. Kind of good.
Yeah, they needed that, too.
They needed it because
Central had a good second half, and they kept pace with them. But Cam Davis definitely helped him pull away in that one and earn a big win against the Crusaders.
Obviously, having your quarterback, Jake Whipsack, back helps you. It just gives you a little bit different dimension to the football team. And, and obviously Grafton coming up this week, big game, big double-A points game for the Weir High Red Riders.
Grafton lost last week to South Harrison 20-3, but picked up 2 nice wins in week 1 and week 2 against Philip Barber and East Fairmont. So.
Yeah, that game last year at Grafton was a knockdown, drag-out, late game heroics by the Weir High defense to pretty much sum it up. Let's see, we have big time. Brooke gets their first win of the season last week, beating University 40-15. They have a 7:30 game against Hurricane. Hurricane's 3-0.
Not Hurricane.
No, not Hurricane. Hurricane. The Brooke Bruins had one in their hands. They let slip away week 1 against Huntington. And look, this is a really good football team, and I think they're starting to find a lot of confidence after what they've done. Being in the game with Huntington, 7-7 with Morgantown in week 2 at halftime, and then beating the University last week by 40-15 score. Yeah, I think the Bruins have a whole bunch of confidence going on their side of the.
Yep, and especially playing at home again against a pretty good Hurricane team. The Hurricanes is 3-0, but they're catching Brooke at the wrong time for them because it seems like Brooke is starting to fire on all cylinders with everything clicking on offense for him. Cody Hudson has the tools to do pretty well, through over 200 yards last week, and obviously Thomas Cole and Nathan Green help him out there. Justin Laufrey running the ball too.
They have talent all sides of the ball, so that could be really interesting football game. Edison goes to Beaver Local. Edison picked up his first win of the season last week, beating Buckeye 34-6. They're going to Beaver Local, which is 0-3. I was on the sidelines, and Derek Stickles just cracks me up every time I'm on the sidelines. That is an intense man when he coaches football. He's also pretty funny, I think. Says a lot of good things to the kids. Obviously Edison goes in 1-2, and feeling pretty good about themselves.
Another very winnable game against the Beavers. They rushed for almost 300 yards last week, and Joey Nave had a nice game throwing the ball, 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah, they found Nick Glen, found Seth Cade.
They have the tools
talent
to win
Absolutely,
too.
They
do. I got to give this one to the Wildcats too, picking up their second win in a row.
Yeah, I agree with you. Pair of 0-3 teams teed up in New Manchester. 0-3 Madonna versus 0-3 Oak Glen. I was on the Madonna sidelines last week listening to 400 coaches in the stands, and I was really impressed with Doug Taylor because Madonna's defense played really good early, and they would make some plays. You turn around and look at the kids and go, you guys can play with these guys. I'm telling you can play with them. Just have confidence in yourself, keep your heads up, and play, and you can play with them. Obviously, we know Wheeling Central's a little bit more talented, has a little more, but I mean, someone's got to pick up a dub.
Yeah.
In Oakland.
Watching Oakland last week against Indian Creek, I mean, Indian Creek put them away pretty early. 21-0 lead's going to do that, but Kyle Perez is one of the hardest runners who's not a running back I've seen. They toss it to him on a screen pass or a little slant route.
Right.
He gets at least 15 yards after the catch because it's hard to bring him down. And Dakota Price was obviously had a tough game against the stifling Indian Creek defense. But, again, Oakland has the tools to do something good. And a lot of attention's going to be played to this game because they haven't played each other in a while.
Right.
And I figure it's going to be a packed house to see the 2 Hancock County teams get back at it.
So you're saying Kyle Perez has some yaks? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yards after catch. Yaks.
Hard to bring down.
Madonna, you have first-year quarterback in Garrett Brown, and then you have Dylan Shaw at running back, and you have a huge offensive line that can really open up a lot of holes. And they did last week against Wheeling Central. Just have to cut down on turnovers. Let's see. The other game is the homecoming game this week. Buckeye Local goes to Indian Creek. Indian Creek's homecoming. And Indian Creek's 3-0, Buckeyes 0-3. Indian Creek has shut out the opponents on 11 of the 12 quarters. Oakland got a late touchdown last week. You watch Indian Creek, that defense is pretty solid.
Yeah, they're fast, they're quick. They don't give the quarterback any time to throw the ball. I think they had 15 tackles for a loss last week.
Wow.
And that's tackling Oakland quarterback and shutting down Dakota Price, who ran for almost 300 yards the week before that.
So what do you think about Indian Creek's three-headed monster at quarterback?
They all can throw the ball. They all can catch the ball, and they all can run the ball pretty well. Almost with Chris Major, Jabari, and Greg Wade, it's almost like you're controlling a video game with how fast they go. It's like me controlling them, scrambling out, dodging a tackle here, running back over this way, tossing it out. It's fun to watch. It's like a video game.
Really?
Yeah.
You got your hands on the...
Trying to get a Braxton Miller spin move, and they're gone. And Chris Major was a tough runner, too.
He went 80.
80 for a touchdown that really put Oakland away at that point. And so they're all three talented in all three aspects of the game.
All right, the lone Saturday night game is rivalry personified. Toronto Red Knights going to Harding to take on the Steubenville Catholic Central Crusaders. Toronto's 3-0. Steubenville Central's 1-2. Been in some shootouts. And, scored 41 against Weir and scored, 28 against, I think 26 against Wheeling Central, I believe it was. And Toronto's 3-0. They got enough votes. I think they were 13th in the state, Division 7. Mm-hmm. And this is Toronto beat them pretty good last year. And obviously, Steubenville Central wants payback.
Yep, 34-7 last year. And that was a kind of a statement win for Toronto. They hadn't beaten Central in a while, and everybody took notice after that game that Toronto's a good team. They're the real deal, and obviously they go to the playoffs last year. So if Toronto can win this game, it sets them up nicely for the rest of the season. But obviously Central too needs to get back on track, and this would be a statement win for them this year.
Because obviously Toronto beat Sebring last week 49-7, 49-0 at half, running clock second half, played all the kids. Which means you played you let your starters get a whole bunch of rest in the second half, which obviously is good. Central was involved in that shootout at Harding against Weir High. Tony Barber has done a really nice job behind at quarterback for Central, throwing to Potenzini, throwing to John Fallon, and they can put up points, man.
Yep. And obviously, it's probably gonna be another shootout at Harding. Toronto last week, 10 guys touched the ball, and they ran for almost 300 yards. So
yeah, because you got Blaine and Blaze and Ty West and Drew Lowry and Max King and Cody King and
Max Tice.
Tice.
He had 2 long touchdown runs and had 100 yards. So yeah, they have the ball. Anybody could touch the ball for them, and
they're pretty lethal all over the field. We watched them beat Wellsville, just to open the season, and this is just going to be good old fashioned football.
Yep.
Good old-fashioned football. So what's going on? What are you doing Friday night? Since you're not going to be since you're not at a high school football game.
I'm going to be rehearsing my dinner.
Okay, rehearsing your dinner.
Yeah, isn't that what it's called? The rehearsing dinner?
That's rehearsal dinner, yeah.
I guess we have to rehearse and then go to the rehearsal dinner.
Okay, and then you eat. How often are you going to rehearse your eating habits?
No, well, I might as well do it a lot because I'm going to be eating a lot on Saturday night, so I have to prepare.
Okay.
I have to practice.
What's for dinner Friday night?
The normal baked ham and chicken, rigatoni, pierogies on Saturday.
Pierogi?
Yes.
Is there a pierogi race on Saturday at the Peaslee wedding?
I'll tell you this. Since the Pirates are away, they're in Los Angeles that weekend. I looked up how much it would be to rent the Pirate Parrot.
Yeah.
Have the Pirate Parrot sign autographs, take pictures at the wedding.
Yeah.
That's too much. But it was a good thought.
You couldn't get the Pirates tour guide discount.
Yeah. Or I wanted Steve Blass to come and just tell stories.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, because he doesn't go on the away games, but he could be the MC for the event and just talk to everybody. And
Aaron was good with that?
Oh, yeah. Aaron loves Steve Blass.
Aaron's a bigger Pirate fan than you, isn't she?
Yeah. Yep.
And your honeymoon, where are you going?
Denver.
To watch the?
Pirates.
That stadium is beautiful. There's no doubt. Colorado Rockies Stadium is gorgeous. Not as gorgeous as PNC,
No.
but it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yep.
Okay, I do. It's pretty simple. Don't faint.
I will. We will.
We will
rock you. That's our first dance.
He does. He needs a really big.
The Mike McElwain hug of the day.
That follows the Mike McElwain rant of the day. Hey,
I'm glad you dressed up for this.
he has a nice T-shirt. It's pretty solid. Looks relatively brand new.
There's no mustard stains.
There's no any stains on it. Pretty awesome.
I
really.
was wearing a polo shirt earlier, but that's not work appropriate. Even though it is.
Say